Thank you, John. John mentioned the weather. The weather held out here much better than it did, in the southern part of the state. I've watched some crossover tape of the Wingate game, and it was almost hard to watch between the wind and the rain. And here we had to deal with some wind, but the rain was good. Held up for homecoming. I think it was a good atmosphere at the stadium. I heard the parade and stuff went well. Unfortunately, we didn't do our part and come away Saturday with a win. I do think that we played much better. I do think that if you look at us from week one, we were talking about this before. If you look at us from week one to week now, I think we're much improved offensively, defensively, and in the kicking game. We are far from a finished product right now. A lot of us just going through the growing pains of the program until we grow up as a program through recruiting and with the kids we got getting better each and every single week, which is what I'm basically in charge of, and I can see the growth coming with the kids that we got. The first half, our defense did a great job. They got two really good runners, really a third that's a pretty good runner, and we kind of took that away from them in the first half and made them go to the throw game and really shut them out the first half. If you really look at it, we turned the ball over on our own, 20 or 25 in that area there, and they ended up getting a quick score there. And then we went back down right before the half, had a very good 2-minute drill. We had a seam route to Ray Beam for a big gainer. I think it was a 44-yard gain. And then we rolled left and ran a little two-man concept. And Jaquay Mitchell made a nice catch in the corner of the end zone and made it 7-7. And then they were able to go down and make some, complete some passes and do some stuff. They got they got a good quarterback. They got some good receivers, and they made some catches. And they got a great kicker. I mean, he did have the wind, but I don't think the wind is why he made that field goal. I mean, it was, he drilled that thing. I jokingly said, geez, he about knocked the building down when he kicked it. I mean, he a very good field goal kicker. But anyway, you're in a game against a top 25 opponent. It's 10-7 at the half. Things are going. We're not exactly dominating the game, but we're in it. We got a chance. We got an opportunity to win the game. Second half, they had 2 or 3, spit runs where, we didn't fit them exactly the way we needed to, and they got a good running back who could pop out of there. And all that being said, you'd still like to see us run it down and not, make it a 12-yard gain instead of a 60-yard gain. But that's just kind of where we're at right now with our team speed. You could see that when we kick the ball off or we return it, you can see that we're not as fast as we need to be. We got some fast players, there's no question. We just don't have enough of them pursuing to the football. And the kid had 3 long runs in the second half. I think he ended the day with like 150 yards or something on I think 4 of those carries were the majority of the yardage. And offensively, we got into a game that we don't like to be in the mid-third quarter on, where we were throwing the ball practically every play. And it was good to see us complete some passes and move down the field when they knew our intentions. I've always felt that, pretty much any offense could run it whenever they're thinking pass, and most offenses could throw it when they're thinking run. It's the really great offenses could run it when everyone knows you're running it, and could throw it when everyone knows you're throwing it. And for us to, the week before against Carson Newman, to run it when everyone in the stadium knew we were running the football, and this week to throw the ball in the second half when everyone in the stadium knew we had to throw the football, those are good signs. I would like to put a week together where we, I told the offense last night, I'd like to have a week where we're a little more balanced, where it's run, pass, run, pass. That's the way you want to play. We just haven't been able to find that, that complete rhythm yet. And it's not always about the offense in itself. It's okay, how's the defense doing? How's their offense playing? How's your kick game? What's the field position? Is it windy? Is it cold? All those things, factor into kind of how you call and run the game. But at the end of the day, we didn't make quite enough plays, and as you said, we lost 36-20. I do think we're growing. I do not believe in moral victories. I do believe that you look at your team and say our team's getting better, so we're on the right path. We just gotta travel longer on this path to get to our destination. All that being said, we are 2-0 in the league, but now this week we got to go to Wingate, and they're 5-1, which is par for the course. Everyone we place, something and one. They're 5-1, and they got a good football team. They got a very good quarterback, kid from here in town, who's a good player. They got some good receivers. They're very big up front, probably one of the bigger teams that we'll face. They look like we jokingly say, they look like the 1987 Redskins, like one of those old 80s, where everyone's 6'5", 285. They're just one of those teams that look that way. And they got a very good run. Now, their star running back, I believe, got hurt in the last game, and it doesn't look like he'll play. I don't really know enough. They don't really give me the scoop on that deal. But from what I've heard, it doesn't look like he'll play. The other kid they got is an excellent runner as well. And then defensively, they're a good. They're a good football team. They're good in the secondary, pretty good up front. Linebackers are very good. Not as concerned about what they're doing as much as I am concerned about what we do and what we need to do to move the football. So it should be, it's an exciting time because we are 2-0 in the league. As bad as we've played out of league, or even though we've lost out of league, we do have that goal still in front of us, and that's what these seniors, some of the freshmen, sophomores, they could look and say, okay, we're building for the future. The juniors and seniors don't want to hear that, especially the seniors. They want the future's now. So for these seniors, we're going on a road to play a good football team, and if we could go down there and pull one out, 2 weeks ago we were going on the road to play a team that no one thought we could beat on the road, and somehow or another our team found a way. And that's going to always be the goal, to find a way to win the football game. And if you can win it, then you set yourself up for league play. And if you don't lose it, or if you can't win it, then you go the next week and hope someone knocks someone off, and you continue to fight for the league. So that's kind of our mindset right now. That's where we're at. We're just trying to improve daily, and we'll see how it goes moving forward. I'll take any questions.
So you talked about their defense. The defense is ranked top 20 in NCAA. They're top 3 in third down percentage defensively. What are you looking to do offensively to counter their aggressive defense?
In Wingate, yeah, we have to. We have to have some balance. I mean, anytime. You want to get Nelson established. If you get the run game going, then that enables you to do some play action and maybe get the ball out on some first down throws. Their third down defense is good for a reason. I mean, they're very good in coverage, and they got a very extensive, blitz package that they're now anyone could blitz, but you got to cover on the back end when you blitz. If you're always used to covering with 7, and all of a sudden your coach blitzes 6 or 7, then you're covering with less people. So. Anyone could blitz, and they've got all the blitzes, and they're good at those, but what they're good at is covering on the back end of those blitzes, hence their third down defense being so good. And when they get in the third and shorts, they're stout in there, with the D-line, and their linebackers are very good, and they're very creative with their stunts. Like Pembroke. Pembroke was very good at stunt, even though they were in coverage a lot. I mean, their interior guys were always stunting and doing some things in there, and they were big bodies, and that makes it tough sledding in there. You got to root them guys out if you're as an O-line. So, we're looking. We hope to keep them off balance with our, being multiple groupings and changing personnel as much as we do, and hopefully we could shake a guy free here and there on a run or some sort of play action, or hit a guy D. We got to make plays. That's really what I'm trying to say is. Schematically, we probably won't be a whole lot different than we've been because we're not capable of being a whole lot more just yet. We'll keep doing what we're doing. We'll just try to do it better, and then maybe catch them off guard. And if we make the play, then we'll be in good shape. And if we don't, we'll punt it. So that's kind of where we're at.
You did mention that their starting running back is hurt. He was leading D2 in touchdowns with 15, but they seem like they have a balanced attack with scoring 36 points a game. From that standpoint, are you looking to basically put more pressure on a quarterback since he doesn't have his
the back? Yeah, I mean, I think from my summer study, I watched all the teams when I took the job here, and then in the summer, obviously I rewatched them, and a lot of it didn't apply because I was watching against, it's the old Lenoir-Rhyne tape, so offensively it didn't help us as much. But their offensive scheme, to me, is as good as there is in the league. And maybe it's because it reminds me the most of what I think we want to look like. Pembroke was that way. They had run, pass, bounce. They do it over more spread set. These guys, I mean, you could see the NFL concepts that they're coaching. I mean, Coach Reich, his brother played for the Bills and is now a coach in the NFL, and you could see that they've had a lot of conversations about how to play football, or they see football the same way, and it's very similar to the way I see football, and that's very hard to stop. Whenever you're big and you can run the ball and you got some good tight ends and you could throw the ball down the field with your receivers and you got a guy in the backfield, then you're hard to stop. I mean, balance is you hear me say it all the time, but people need to define balance. Like anyone could call half the runs and half the passes. I mean, and say, well, we're 50-50. No, when I'm talking balance, I mean, the flanker could catch the ball and the split end and the slot receiver and the tight end and the backs getting the ball, and you got all the plays that come off those, all the fakes and throw it out here and fake like we're throwing it here and hand it there. That's when you have true balance. I mean, now every now and again you got all. There's that way of thinking too. But the best way to do it is to have to have a well-balanced offense where everyone can touch the ball. Then you have to defend all the parts of the field. You have to defend it deep. You have to defend the width. You have to defend the run and the pass. That's why they're averaging 36 points a game, because they could do all those things. And you cannot do that unless you've got a quarterback who's a trigger man. He's got to be like John Stockton was with the Jazz. He could get the ball to the right people. We don't want to be a team where the quarterback's the ball carrier and these other guys don't get a play. We want to be a team where all of these guys can touch the ball. So then it spreads the field. It uses the length and width of the field, and that's why I respect Wingate so much. Is that's what they do. I mean, and the quarterback can take off with it, and the running back's tough, and the receivers. So defensively, we're going to have to be very sound. We're going to have to do our best to keep them off balance. You can't just gang up on like in the first half against Pembroke, we stopped the run. But then everyone's like, well, they threw it on you. Well, yeah, because we got an odd number of players. We put that many toward the run. They started throwing it on us. They're a good offense, And then when we tried to make some adjustments and try to do some things to help them throwing those quick little passes out there, well, guess what they had? They had, 3 big runs. Well, that's because they're built right. And, that's where we were at Cal and when I was at Concord, how we came down here. And we're evolving to that right now at Lenoir-Rhyne. And it's an evolution. I hate that it takes time. I hate it. I wish that you could snap your fingers and you got it. But I guess then anyone could probably do it. It's just you gotta continue down that road. And Wingate, what's he been there 14 years, right? He built that thing the way he wants it to look, and he's doing a good job. They're 5-1 for a reason.
Defensively, you mentioned those 3 or 4 big runs that they have. What did your defense see while looking at film, or if they have looked at film yet, what did they see that they can improve on in just playing a full solid game?
Well, I think it was on I believe 2 of the runs. I think we had a stunt called, and the base way you play a run is one way, and then when you have the stunt, like basically, I'm going to get into some football talk here, but if you're a backer and you've got the A gap, well, the 3 techniques got B gap, and when they run the power play, this is the way we fit it. Well, when we slant those 2 to try to put pressure for the pass game, then those 2 are taking those gaps, and I'm taking this one. Well, that's fine and dandy when they run their base stuff, but when they run a different type of scheme of power, and I decide to fit it this way instead of hit it up inside, and the back's good, then they make you. And you see this all the time. You see it in every game that you see. It doesn't fit right, and it's a 6-yard gain or a 9-yard gain, or it spits for a little bit in the secondary runs it. Against us, it goes. Because we just, if you get Rodney out of the middle of the field or Sherrard or one of them guys, you block up the corners. If you make that guy miss, then it's going all the way because our pursuit isn't going to turn and run it down the way it needs to just yet. And that's why pursuit's so important. That's why team speed is so important, because it covers up a lot of those mistakes. I mean, you don't even want to call them mistakes. It's just the way the game unfolded, and what is a little thing to us ends up hurting us bad. Now, it wouldn't against a lesser team or a lesser back, but when you get one of them guys free, he goes all the way with it, and you can see it was a foot race. It wasn't much of a foot race. I mean, he's out in front by a mile, and if you could find someone that could make them faster, I'm all for it. But till then, we just got to live with what we're going through.
On offensively, you had some injuries a couple weeks ago. Calvin Edwards and T.J. Smith. What are the updates on them, and how are they doing? Or when you plan to see them? When are we planning to see them return to action?
We're not. Calvin's done for the year. He, believe it or not, he had a concussion in week 2, and he got cleared last Sunday. I knew he was going to be cleared. Monday he got cleared. He went through the walkthrough basically that we do on Monday night. Tuesday he came out, and about 20 minutes into practice was running with no one around him and extending himself, and broke his hip, which dislocated his hip, broke his pelvis, which the doctor told Flick it was the equivalent of a car wreck in just running. So a fluke injury, and he got operated on Wednesday, and he's going to be fine moving forward. Tuesday night we were worried about where he was going to be at the rest of his life. Fluke injury, I would imagine his career's over with. Great kid, did everything right. I mean, it wasn't like he got hit, didn't get tackled. Even if he did, it was the Bo Jackson deal where just I can't even explain it, you know. And with TJ has a shoulder, and the doctor wanted him to do 2 or 3 weeks of rehab and see where he's at. They'll probably look at him again probably at the end of this week and probably tell him that, you know, your season's over, you need to get surgery, and we'll redshirt him. He'll get a medical red shirt, and he'll have 2 years left. If by some miracle it's healed, which I don't think is going to happen, then he would come back. Obviously, I've talked to TJ about this. Last week I wouldn't have brought this up in here, but he knows what the story is. I mean, it's not breaking news to us in our circle, but I mean, those are two. You know, TJ made All-American 2 years ago on a 14-2 team, and he could be playing right now. And you know, we got Demarius who broke his foot, you know, who could be playing right now. And you just saw Evan had his first time he ran on the field this year is back. And every time he runs, I pray to God that his hamstring doesn't pop, you know. And then Calvin's an all-league caliber back. And so, I mean, it's one of those years. My old head coach used to say it's our turn in the barrel, you know, so we're just going through it a little bit.
Last question for you is: are you still planning to use the 2 quarterback system that we saw?
Yeah, I mean, the guy asked me in halftime, you know, how I'm deciding it, you know, and I said, well, I'm just pulling their names out of a hat, and you know, what we're doing is we're trying to, like, you change personnel groupings all the time, right? You play 2 tight ends, and you play a fullback, and you play 3 receivers, and then you have sets where you play 5 receivers and no backs, and you do all those for reasons, whether it's a schematic or strategic reason, or it helps you get to certain areas of the field, or you know that this kid can only take so many reps. I mean, there's a variety of reasons why you do it. What we do is when we get in this certain package, you know, our base play is 1 or 2 plays, and the problems we've had, you know, are having someone with some speed come out the back end. And so, you know, we put Caleb in for those sets, and he's reading it, and you know, sometimes that works out great and sometimes it doesn't. And we've added passes to that set so that when he walks on the field, everyone doesn't think, oh, you're running the football. And we called 2 of them, and you know, one of them I thought he kind of misread, and the receiver should have crossed the face, and the other one, you know, the receiver, if the guy blitzes, you're supposed to sight adjust to a hitch, but we had a pass call that was already showing what he should do, and the corner, you know, fit, and he sight adjusted to the run play. And that's some of the stuff where, you know, that's the first time he'd ever seen that when a pass was called. So that's what he did. And I think we could hit a nice little pass play out of that. I'm going to add 2 or 3 pass plays out of it this week, and then I'll let the game call itself. You know, if it's a situation where this package is what needs to be used, then when I yell at that package, Caleb goes. And if it's a package where this needs to be used, I yell at that package and Jared goes. And they do it just like the tight ends or receivers or anyone else, you know, does it. And to me, it's kind of problem solving. It helps them both be better players. It's good for Jared to stand on the sidelines and see what's going on a little bit, take some of the pressure off him. And I think it's good for Caleb to get some reps, and he can stand on the sidelines and not have as much pressure on him when he goes in. And that's how we're doing it this week. We may even add a little play or package, and I don't sit there and say, well, how many plays did this kid play? I don't even know. I don't even look at it that way. I just, you know, it's what we need to do, and we call it accordingly. And I look at it, even though the quarterback position is not looked at the same as the flanker position or tight end position, I'm looking at it the same way as we got to get production out of that position, however we need to get it done. And so, yeah, I plan on using it moving forward. I think it's worked out well for both of them. You know, it's not ideal. You know, going down the road, it's not what you want to be. But I mean, I saw Steve Spurrier speak about a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, and 2 years later he was rotating him in every play. You know, so it's each year is its own entity, and right now that's where we're at. And in 2 weeks from now, it may not be. You know, it may, you know, or a month from now, I mean, we're just we evaluate it from week to week based on what we think helps us against our opponent, and that's what we'll do. Good. good, because I got a 1 o'clock, so this works out really well. Well, I appreciate y'all for coming. We're going to go down to Wingate and we'll play them hard. That's the one thing I think the team has evolved to. We're playing harder. We're playing with a physical brand of football. We're competing. I love that we competed till the end of that game. I felt that, you know, the team that when I got here in the spring, or the team in early camp, would have not competed till the end. And I thought we did that, and guys were devastated after the loss. And you know, you try to tell them that there are bigger things in life, but they should be hurt, because in their life that's what matters. You know, and in my life that's what maybe in everyone else's it doesn't matter, but to me it matters a great deal. You know, so that's good. That shows you that they're putting the work in, and it hurts, and they don't want it to continue to happen, and it won't. You know, we're going to eventually be where we're on top of these games more than on the other end. But right now we got to go through what we're going through, and Wingate's a good football team, and we'll go down there and play them hard and maybe pull off one. Who knows? But we'll have fun. I appreciate y'all for coming.